Welcome in, everybody. It's the last race of the night or morning, depending on your present location. Here we have from the Magidrakee group, Polyglot, Polymath, current Dragon Quest for Nintendo Switch world record holder, and Human Ray of Sunshine Ladob against Shark or whatever, and Big Slamoo. But no, really, Slamoo is out there tearing it up right now. Speaking of polymaths, he is a randomizer polymath as he's out there crushing it in Z2R. Z1R, all boards, no swords. And it's got a 2-1 record here. Ladob coming in at 1-1. I'm Archfield Monk, and joining me in the call for this one, making his first public appearance since single-handedly defeating Kentucky in the 2022 NCAA men's basketball tournament. It's Secret Agent Mand.
Hello. The secret was dunking. A lot.
Duncan?
No.
Like mad? No.
No, not Duncan. Dunking.
Oh, dunking. Oh, that's different.
Although it would have been a good idea to just bring in Duncan instead.
Beta Strep's doing our tracking tonight. This one's going to get underway shortly. We do have Ladob there on the right-hand side of your screen, running a strength agility build. Slamoo on the left. Not much difference in the stats here at the outset of this one. You do see no spells and therefore no magic points. If you don't have any MP at the start of the race, you know that you're guaranteed not to have any spells, so you don't even need to bother to check that menu when you get started off. But 5 strength, that's not amazing. 22 agility, though, means you can run from a lot of stuff in the opening zones. So maybe that will somehow advantage our runners a lot. Depends on what exactly we'll find in the throne room.
It's definitely going to be tempting to take gold somewhere fast early in the seed.
Yeah, I mean, 22 agility, this is the way I always think about it, right? You've got zone 0, 1, and 2. On average, Tanagil's tending to sit in the middle of that, so you've really just got 45 tiles of runway to the north and east and west and south. You can stretch it beyond that a little bit. There's a lot of the map you can kind of explore right away. So if you have that opportunity, it often makes sense to push, especially on higher agility. Just see if you can find something. You never know if coal's sitting out there, if you start with some gold, or you maybe come across Stones of Sunlight Cave with a free chest or something. But, of course, all of that is moot. For all we know, important items sitting in the throne room, and we'll get a look at those momentarily. I think I see Jason from Blaster Master as Ladob Sprite and Big Slamoo, as is tradition, going with Waluigi, or Purple Mario if you prefer. And we've got a Fairy Flute and an opening gold chest, so as we've already been talking about, we do have some opening gold here with this good starting agility. It'll be interesting to see if either runner decides to save this, see if they can take it somewhere. Slamoo kind of low-rolled his chest, though. So if he gets somewhere, there's a couple options that are off the table, all the always popular hand axe among them. It looks like we're kind of stuck on a peninsula here at the eastern edge of the map, so maybe a little bit less... Oh, no. And toward the north, too. So we've already seen a couple of coasts, and there might not be much to explore except through what is almost certainly the diagonal zone here to the northwest, and I think that is indeed the only way forward. Sleep Slime for Slamoo.
No fight is going to be fast at this attack power, but at the very least the defense means they're breaking most things already, although it won't help when they have DL1 breath.
Yeah, weak breath there for the Drakey, and of course Slamoo gets through that narrow passage at the very north end of the map, only to find Hawksness. If that isn't true to form, I don't know what is.
It's always Hawksness.
It's always Hawksness.
You sit there going, you have low AP, great agility, and starting gold. Find a town, you're so happy, and it's Hawksness. It's never not.
Yeah. This could be really bad. I think they do have to sit and grind this out. I don't know that you can reasonably expect to find another town that close, and we know that they have to traverse through a definitely not opening zone. You see here Ladab just east of this mountain range, getting a Wraith Knight, most certainly not an opening game enemy. So they've got to sit down and try to plink away at some of these enemies. Now, as you pointed out, because of that high agility, they do have a little bit higher defense than usual, so on 11 defense points, they're actually breaking slimes, red slimes, and drakees for whatever that's worth. The slimes they could probably cure regardless, but the drakees are out there. And we've got a couple... Oh, look at that!
Oh, that's a really big ghost kill.
That's huge. Immense crits. And that's when you really know that your attack power is terrible, is when you need to land multiple critical hits to kill a ghost. Oh, and there's another! He just crit that magician, but there's no guarantee he'll kill this, of course. On 13 defense now, though.
Yeah,
go ahead.
13 defense now.
13 defense now, so it's broken, but it's got heal!
Oh. This is a really unfortunate start, because you can't really kill the Drakees.
No. Drakees are probably off the table unless that was a just kind of back pocket weak breath. But even so, Slamu now on 9 attack power. He could maybe think about going after one of those if he wanted to, but this feels like a slime start for sure. We do have hurt. I did miss that.
Yeah, that's absolutely key then.
Crit there for Ladab, and he's now got level 2 as well. So this shouldn't go too badly. I don't know if... Oh, so I think the deal here is Slamu looks like he maybe is trying to do a little bit of chip damage first against this magician. I hope he noticed that he has got hurt anyway.
Yep, he did. There we go.
But since the magician's got hurt, he figures if he does a couple damage first, and say for instance rolls a 10 like he did there, he's still in range to kill it.
Now the bad news for our racers is that if there's not a big level on 3, this is actually really unfortunate, because the best mob they've seen that's really killable right now is, I think, not killable. The best mob they've seen that isn't one of these mobs is either the Magidrakee or the I think it was a Wraith Knight.
Yeah, well, for what it's worth, if you're feeling hyper aggressive now on level 3 with sleep.
Oh yeah, sleep will change everything.
You could maybe go after some of those if you really wanted to. But we haven't really seen the north zone. I don't think there's many high encounter rate tiles up there toward the coast. So you kind of have to weigh your options now. You say, alright, am I just going to sit here and hurt magicians? Or, try to... I haven't been able to count if there's enough tiles for there to even really be a north zone. But I guess we'll probably find out soon enough. Slamu's going to hurt this magician for level 4. On his last bit of ammunition, looks like 7 power here, 4 speed, 2 hit points, no magic points, but the Spell of Outside.
So mostly not useful, but the strength and the extra MP will be always helpful.
Yeah, 32 hit points now, not terrible. 36 agility is actually pretty good. Ladob's going to get level 3 now too.
Yeah, Beta's... Oh, wolves.
Yeah,
oh, that is
this is the north zone. So it was, in fact, the north boundary there. The north zone boundary is very close to the castle, and this one it looks like. So I think you definitely take even the low encounter tile walk to try to get these types of enemies before you just hang out in the desert. There's a 3 hurt kill on a wolf for Slamu. Quick 40 experience points. He's now just 8 experience away. Pardon me. Yeah, is that right? 8 math? No, 5. Why did I say 8? He's 5 experience away from level 5.
There's an 8 in the next experience bracket.
Oh,
so that's
there is. Yeah.
I'm bailing you out here.
So, I don't know if it worked, but good attempt. Slamoo at 5, 4-1-1. No magic points again in return, so still only 4 shots of that hurt spell, and Slamoo's just going to take the Swamp Walk. We did see Ladab go back into the castle to refill his magic that way. Probably, would you think marginally faster to Death Warp, maybe?
I
don't know, really.
It depends. Like, it's probably faster, I think, but not too much, and Ladab may just be deciding why not keep the gold if there's only a marginal increase.
Right. So, as you'd expect, that diagonal zone is really close to the castle here based on where we saw the north boundary was. So this is the same horizontal where Slamoo was getting wolves earlier, but he's just a bit to the west. Getting Wraith Knights instead.
I'm surprised he isn't going back there to the wolf zone immediately.
Yeah, it feels like the wolf zone is the place to be. They don't have quite enough MP to, say, just take a flying attempt at a Wraith Knight or something like that. You need to land the sleep first and get a decent run of that, I think, in order to make it feasible. And with 8 magic points, you don't really have enough in the tank to do that just yet, although it's something to think about, because they're going to have to explore that direction eventually anyway.
I'm also somewhat surprised Slamoo hasn't tried checking the desert tiles in Hawksnest just on a lark.
Yeah, I mean, the Hawksnest zone itself, whenever it's close to home, sometimes the tile is not beatable, but that zone itself can sometimes be very profitable. There goes another crit for Slamoo. I don't know what is in Waluigi's sort of nutritional supplements there, but appears to be working for him.
It's just pure anger at not being invited into Smash.
Oh, yeah, well, sometimes you just play with a chip on your shoulder. Ladab, back into the castle for an MP refill, is now just a magician or so shy of level 5, so a little bit of an experience points differential here. That magician does have hurt. I don't know that we've actually seen it pull that out just yet. We knew about the heal spell.
It had casted at least once before, but it seems to be really low chance.
Yeah. Ladab, up to level 5. Slamoo's got enough AP, and of course breaking those magicians can just slice through them at this level.
Still it could be... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It could be that's why he's trying to stay in the zone a lot more, is he doesn't want to die, but then if that were the case, you don't really have healing, so...
Yeah. I think there's a tendency to shy away from the grassland tiles, really. It might be as simple as that. You'll see this sometimes, and you'll have starts occasionally where you just don't even really have any higher encounter rate tiles nearby. I'm curious to know, I mean, we've seen them walk that northernmost row of forest, I think. I believe the zone boundary is just probably a tile or 2 beyond that.
I'm pretty sure I saw someone get a Drakee on that top row, so that would presumably be the bound.
Presumably, I guess the Drakee could easily be in the north zone too. But I think we saw a red slime there, perhaps. So yeah, this kind of start, I think it's really interesting when you know where the zone boundaries more or less have to be, because you've got the north coast and the east coast zone near. You basically have full knowledge of where the boundaries are within a tile or 2 if you're paying attention, so it's really interesting to see how players handle this situation.
Yeah, and right now both the players are being very conservative.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Slamoo's 2 experience points away from the level. This magician ought to do it. That's a roll of a 9 on the hurt. Didn't get a heal fortuitously, and the swing will finish him off. Here comes level 6. For 18. 5 and 10. So some more MP at their disposal now, and 55 agility makes them a pretty good favorite to run away from a lot of overworld enemies.
I mean, at this point, the only things they're not better than 50% against are Armor Knight, Red Dragon, and Metal Slime, right?
55. Yeah, that's actually probably accurate. I honestly don't think about the run figures too much because I think all they really do frequently is give you a reason to be aggrieved, and I'm not interested in being aggrieved. But yeah, that's basically accurate. It's those 3 high agility monsters. Yeah, you're right on the beam with that one.
So yeah, at this point, I don't know why Slamu is still taking this grind.
Yeah, I think this is a curious decision. I'd expect him to Death Warp here. He does look like he's making a beeline back for his swamp. But he's not going to quite get to the swamp. He'll just take the Death Warp on this wolf instead. That'll work. And you never know, he's been on such a run of crits, he might have been able to land another one there and take that one out.
Yeah, always see if you can get lucky on a crit.
Yeah, no reason not to. But now we know the West Zone's got wolves too, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it makes it really unfortunate that Slimer wasn't out there trying to find more of them, but sometimes you just don't feel comfortable, and sometimes, I guess the one thing I can say is that 8 MP is a pretty cold glass of water.
Yeah.
It's not comfortable to see.
Okay, so Slamu is checking out the West Zone now. Got a Ghost in here, got a Magidrakee, that's at least better than the Magician. A pretty frequent one-shot hurt kill. Ladab now up to level 6, and you see there on his Strength Agility build already pushing 60 agility as of level 6. 29 defense without any equipment.
That's just absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, I think that's a good word. Yeah, Slimer will have to go to the sleep here and get probably one more sleep turn if he wants to beat this wolf. Looks like he did get it, and the hurt rolls have been good so far. So this one's going to go down, another chunk of 40 experience points. Ladab, meanwhile, is headed toward... I don't know, is this the Cumberland Gap of Alefgard?
Yes. The only unfortunate thing... Oh, that is actually...
Ooh.
Oh,
Well,
no.
I'm not sure if there's only one unfortunate thing.
I was going to say the only unfortunate thing is that he's only got 3 HP. That turned out not to be the unfortunate thing at all there. That did not matter at all.
Actually, it was totally inconsequential to the outcome of that particular thing that happened.
And that's going to make that zone particularly annoying to gold grind, though.
Yeah, if you happen to get a chance at a gold grind later, you'd better make sure you save that. Because this is the only route forward. Interestingly enough, there just so happens to be a wolf in this diagonal zone too, so Ladab is going to get an opportunity to take one out as he tries to explore here. Meanwhile, Slamu, also Drakeemas in this west zone, they have heal more, which is annoying, but he can swing and hurt if he likes to try to take this out. It will be the level if he can get it. And he can't.
Oh no.
Drakeemas with DL2 Breath. That's 2 on the board so far.
It looks like there are also Drolls in that North Desert Zone that Ladab is at. And
yeah.
That could be decent. Oh, Warlocks.
Warlocks. This is interesting. This is not really what I would have expected to see here.
Especially not right next to the Wizards and right behind the Wolves, but I really like Ladab's zone here. This could help him catch up.
Yeah. Slamu, meanwhile, does get the level 5251. Kind of underwhelming. Yeah, I gotta say, I really like this zone, provided it's not contaminated here. We've seen mostly good things so far. There's a lot to be said for this zone. Got your high encounter rate there. And Slamu walking the grassland tiles. Not getting encounters nearly as frequently.
Honestly,
he's closed the gap pretty quickly here. We're down within 40 after Slamu had stretched his lead pretty extensively there. He's going to try this 2 tiles of desert to the west, and I think it might just be the same zone that Ladab is in, if I'm not mistaken. Because I don't think there's 15 tiles between where he is right now on the north coast. Ladab has managed to get a little further here. We see Charlotte Castle and a cave at what looks like it might be a suspiciously short peninsula. He is going to get run blocked and DL2 breathed by this rogue scorpion. Oh, goodness.
What I was going to say, the stop spell was really fortunate if you can get armor. Not so much anymore.
No, not really. Rogue scorpions are one of those enemies that you would love to pick on with a hurt spell. The HP isn't quite enough there for it yet. You could always try the sleep too, but obviously that's off the table with that DL2 breath. And I'm wondering, we see Charlock real close over here, and there was also a cave. I'm gonna predict that maybe this is a tiny first continent.
It certainly doesn't seem large. Also, there were green dragons in the zone just before that desert.
I see here Slamu getting that wizard encounter to the east of those tiles.
So wait, is that the same zone, and the other 2 enemies that we really hadn't seen Ladab encounter much are the wizard and the green dragon? That doesn't make too much sense.
I think that's exactly what it is. I thought that's what it had to be. It was really strange to me that that was the zone, but he's just not getting the wizards, or whatever that other enemy was.
Oh, he has been super lucky then. This zone is suddenly actually kind of bad.
Kind of bad, but 58 agility. It's not like he's in a terrible position to run from the wizards. You don't like it, but it's the best he's seen so far. Interestingly enough, Big Slamu here on the top row of forest. This is the North Zone. There's wolves right here.
Oh man, this entire
90. I mean, would you be absolutely freaking out right now if 19 minutes into the race you realized that this was North Zone?
Yes.
Yeah. Me too.
Although, to be fair, with this much agility, I would be gone right now, so I probably wouldn't be seeing any of these enemies.
This is probably fair. It's a very interesting seed, the way this one has started out.
The zones are just super interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a weirder, eclectic mix of mobs just around Tantagel.
Yeah, and I mean, I find these really interesting. Like you said, the zone stuff is something that I always think about. Not everybody probably finds it as fascinating as we do necessarily, but it is really interesting when you have a start where you're very close to a corner of the map, so you can basically kind of, in addition to, all the cartography you're doing with your map, regardless of whether you're drawing out just kind of that mental image, and then you can kind of overlay that with your grid and just say, all right, I kind of know where everything is here.
Yeah, if you really wanted to, you could basically go through a good portion of this map just fully aware of every time you enter a new zone, which could be useful information. But preferably you get a better mix of monsters for a good zone than any of these so far.
Yes. Slamu has extended his lead again, back up to about 150 experience points worth. They'll kind of go back and forth as Ladab is going to get a wolf here, but of course he's off to the northwest and has decided to strike out and explore. 61 agility, I can't necessarily say I blame him here.
Ooh, Druids would hurt more.
There is a path forward. This cave is Rainbow Drop Cave, so of absolutely no use right now, but it will be very convenient once our runners are finally getting ready to dive the final dungeon, because it's sitting right outside. Ooh.
Oh, I see a town.
There is a roof line, the edge of Ladob's screen.
And also a Droll Magi. Those could both be two huge bits of information for Ladob here.
It's just a regular droll.
No, there was one just before this.
Oh, was there one just before this?
Yeah, there was one.
Missed the Droll Magi? Yeah. Huh. Oh, there's a Star Wyvern, the tile right before the town, and he gets a pretty crummy roll there.
And he had enough gold for a copper sword, too.
Yeah. Ugh. That just feels completely gross. Especially because you know that has to be a town that has a shop of some kind. Because you've already seen Hawksness.
So, Ladob has seen 3 jerks so far, as chat notes. He's seen the Hawksness town being first. He's seen the actual jerk, and now he's seen the Star Wyverns.
Yep. Can you think a more iconic trio?
I mean, let's be honest. There's a red dragon somewhere between here and that town we just haven't seen yet.
Don't do that to these poor racers. Why would you do that?
I'm not doing it. DWR was doing it, okay?
You can try to push the blame off on other people as much as you like, but we know the truth. Slamu just needs this wolf to get level 8.
This could be a really big advantage if Ladob has trouble getting to that town or the town just doesn't really have much. If this level is big.
Yeah.
Because right now it looks like it's going to take Ladob a bit to reach that town and then get back to the grind.
3305 and repel.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like I used the word underwhelming already, so I don't want to go back to that particular well, and yet.
If you want, you can go with Cataclysmic at this point.
You could, if in Slamu's case, you could repel in this zone and just get wolves. I guess that's fine. But, of course, he's out of resources at the moment, so he's going to forego that.
Yeah, actually, now that I noticed the repel, that's actually exceedingly big for Slamu.
Yeah, I mean, he can basically choose that encounter out of the zone now. So that should be fine. Ladob is going to continue trying to make his way forward here. In theory, this is actually quite doable. 61 agility. He has been getting some unfortunate back attacks.
Yeah.
And with no way to heal, of course, anytime you take one of those, it just diminishes your odds going forward. But it's all grassland all the way down to this spot.
Ooh, Wolf Lord.
Looks like he's going to take a pot shot at this Wolf Lord.
Honestly, I'd probably just be going sleeping and getting to the town, not risking it. But
yeah, I can see kind of both perspectives there. He's landed 2 decent hurts already, average or better. This third one does take care of it, so that's 52 experience points. Not too shabby. Slamu's headed the same direction.
Yeah, I didn't realize how low we gotten on gold. Yeah, that's actually super key.
Town is Garanham, so some shopping here for Ladob. I can't really blame him for this choice. I think the herbs are a good option here because you've got some decent offense with your Hurt and Sleep spell. Even if you were to find a Copper Sword, you'd only be at 40 attack power. That's not, probably in the range for the kind of stuff you want to be fighting anyway.
Yeah, and Big Slamu has found a wizard. Wyvern. There we go.
Yeah, one of those.
Don't know that Garanham had a weapon in there, but it did have Silver Shield.
Something to keep in mind for later. There was a Copper Sword. Beta Strep, our eagle-eyed tracker, making note of that. Slamu was trying to go sleep hurt on that Wyvern. Did not quite get the job done there, but still owns about a 200 experience point lead. Here at minute 26. Minute 27, I guess, actually.
Right now, the big factor is just going to be if Ladob can keep his money from star weapons.
Yeah. He does look like he headed east out of here.
Looked like it, yeah. Now he's checking the south zone.
Yeah, just kind of checking out the distant borders of those swamps. Hey, look at this. He just says, you know what? Nearest patch of desert tiles. Go. And see what what he can find.
And it looks like Slamu has decided to join in on the exploration now.
Yep, he has seen the Jerk Cave already, of course. But this is his first trip to Garenham. He just skirted past it earlier.
Just walked right in without a star weapon or anything.
So we got Copper Sword, Half Plate, Large Shield, Silver Shield there. That's a pretty decent array of stuff regardless of whether you have a gold grind or not.
Yeah. It's always nice to have a nearby Silver Shield, but if there isn't a gold grind, you've got some low tier stuff that'll be great for right now.
Slamu right back at it against these wyverns. I would expect, based on where he is, that if Ladab continues to sit in that zone, he would see one eventually too, but it looks like Ladab is intent on continuing to explore. He's headed kind of to the northwest, pardon me, of this fort. We know, of course, the map, since we started in the northeast corner, a lot of the map is laid out to our southwest. So Ladab choosing to go north first, since he knows perhaps that coast is close and he can close off some avenues of exploration quickly that way.
And there's a wyvern for Ladab, so that'll help him out too.
Absolutely, if he can take this out, it would get him level 8.
Ooh. I mean, it's not bad because you have the flute, and it's also a golem, but still that could muddy this zone a bit if that's the same zone as that desert.
I suspect it might be, but Slamu, having gotten his copper sword, looks like he's headed the same way Ladab headed off. Ladab, not quite with enough MP in the tank to take on that wyvern, maybe had enough to try his hand at that specter. Opted not to do so. Just a single tile gap up here. Both of our racers high-fiving. Just about on the same tile. And this is gonna just be a zonk, so we'll have to turn around and head back.
That was kind of amusing in that Slamu got a better encounter and just scooted right past Ladab into the lead, and then Ladab passed him because Slamu didn't break his hard. Oh, but the mirroring exploration will be discontinued because the green dragon did not want to let him get away. Looks like Ladab is probably going to go back in for a copper sword now that he's got some money.
Yep. Making a beeline for that weapon shop. Knows exactly what he wants. That copper sword is good for 10 attack power. Both of our racers now on even footing in that department. Ladab's going to grab the leather armor as well, plus 4 defense. He is just about breaking wolves, but not quite. Everything in Zone 0, 1, and 2 broken at 40 defense power. Nevertheless, low hit points. Take as much defense as you can get. Here's another in the crit parade for Slamu. Takes out that wolf. He's up over the 800 experience point threshold now. Ladab has forward position out of Garenham, is going to try to continue exploring to the west. Now that he's closed off. Oh, don't like to see that. They do have the early flute, and that might be prudent from this point forward now that you know that golems have sleep and hurt more.
Ah, that's super unfortunate to get run block slept by a golem at 64 agility.
Yeah, that's just a pain. That's a couple times that's happened to Ladab now. He had that Star Wyvern encounter just the tile immediately before Garenham that first trip. And now just a little bit unlucky there against the Golem. But again, now he knows, and with the Flute, you can mitigate those Golems if you so choose.
Yeah, throw a Flute out, get a stop spell out while it's asleep, and it's basically just a free kill, probably.
Ladab tries to go after the Wraith Knight there. It has a slightly higher than typical sleep resist. You can take that fight with Sleep Hurt, but you do have to get a little bit luckier than you might normally. Wraith Knights have that sleep resist of 5 out of 16. So I think that's a perfectly fine idea if you happen to see one on full resources. No reason not to give that a shot. He did give that Magiwyvern a thought, and that's the one where I'm like, I'm all about Sleep Hurt Magiwyverns.
Yes.
Because they've got the 1 in 8 resist. So I love to see it, especially early in a race if you got Sleep Hurt. Get after those Magiwyverns.
Yeah, especially really close to a healing town. He could really just keep his money most of the way. And I think maybe there was a large shield in Garenham?
Yes, large shield in Garenham.
So that would be a perfect buy if you could just grind Magiwyverns for a while, just to get that and really help out your defense points a lot more too.
Demon Knight's going to take out Ladab here. Big Slamu, I think, is just a good encounter away from getting level 9. It's now up to 965 experience points. A couple Magicians would do it.
It is somewhat amusing that our 2 racers so far have been very diametrically opposed. Not very diametrically opposed, but pretty diametrically opposed, and that Ladab has repeatedly tried to explore again and again, and Slamu has repeatedly tried to grind again and again. And each time it feels like something is going to break, something is going to get one of them to break out. And we're level 8.
There's another crit from Slamu. What is this? Level 9 incoming. 13 power, that's a big boost. 4 speed, 14 hit points, also a very welcome sight. I think of all the advice I've ever gotten about Dragon Warrior Randomizer, probably the best is just crit. Just crit. That's all you gotta do.
I mean, I certainly enjoy it when it happens.
Demon Knights have hurt. That's okay. I'm cool with that. Ooh, Ladab! I was wondering if somebody was going to head into this swamp, and here we go. Whenever you can, especially because we knew there couldn't be much landmass there. We'd already seen that's kind of just right adjacent to the starting area, so you can maybe check that out. It is Swamp North, which is a little bit unfortunate. Maybe not the thing that you'd be looking for in this situation. But Swamp Cave at least is appropriately placed in terms of real estate today. Ladab's going to try to race this with Hurt. And I think Hurt is actually much better here. You saw that roll of 6. So he definitely wants to throw Hurts here if he's going to try to take out this Wraith, but the rolls have not been very kind so far. And I do believe he's out of healing. I think he used his last herb upon entering Swamp Cave. He is going to get the 42 experience for this one.
Yeah, but he'll pay for it because that was his last herb.
Yeah, doesn't have any more healing, so if he gets through here, hopefully there's no swamp on the other side. Oh, there's a little bit of swamp.
The problem is that desert.
Yeah. Slamu has built up now. Well, really quickly, Ladab unfortunately running into a blue dragon there. That shows the Hurtmore spell. Sends him back to start. But Slamu has now built up about a 400 experience point lead.
Yeah. it doesn't feel huge just because the stats, even at level 9, are just... Like, there was a 14 strength gain, and it felt really impactful to see it, but then you look at the strength, and you're like, oh yeah, 46 total strength at level 9.
Yeah, it's kind of okay. There's still, in a spot here, at least Slamu in his case, a lot of these enemies like the Wyverns, he is out-damaging his hurt spell finally with that copper sword.
Yeah. But you'd at least like to see a heal spell or something. Oh, wolves have... No, wolves don't have sleep. Okay, that was just Ladab getting unlucky.
Yeah, missed a sleep actually there. Just to touch on what they're talking about in chat, that has always stuck with me as well. Game Boy is very fond of saying that, and I think it's extremely true. Some form of the phrase, heroes go through swamps, and I make beelines towards swamps pretty often, especially if they're close to home, and especially early, because you never know if you're just going to spike a town or a cave that the other player might not see for quite a while because they've chosen to fade those swamps. Slamu has built up enough gold to pick up a large shield. Up to 42 defense now.
Yeah. I will say, it's one of those things that it's especially hard, I feel, for a newer racer, because I know I struggle with it still, to just get used to the idea that, like, you want to go through swamps, even without healing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
getting through that swamp might kill you, but then you have information.
Yeah, exactly. And the last thing that you want to do is just fade a swamp area for too long. And then, especially if you go out and explore a bunch of dead space and it turns out that what you were looking for was in that swamp all along, that can be really detrimental to your run.
Yeah, it's super easy to say, I'll explore that swamp later, or I'll wait until I have heal. And then you just get into a mindset where you keep finding things in the other direction. You're like, I've got to check that way again now, because I saw something there. Or,
yeah.
I still don't have heal, I'm going to wait for it, and then heal's on level 16.
Exactly, and I think on a map like this in particular, right? Because you could leave that swamp for a really long time and it's so close to start and there's probably not much landmass there, but if you don't check it, you can go, 150 tiles whatever direction, going south and west there, and miss something really close to home.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think Ladab is probably trying to spike something for money. And just
I think
pure
possibly,
walking,
yeah.
like
We
mad.
know I think the thing that he saw there that he really liked was the Wolf Lords. But he has been walking without an encounter now for way too many steps. And he doesn't even have Repel on because it wore off a couple steps after he left Garenham.
Oh, in money. Yeah, that's... Oh.
Yeah, he was shy of healing last time.
Yeah,
Slamu now
like...
finds out about the golem.
So now both the racers know that the golems are not something you really want to fight without stop spell.
Yeah, stop spell though, with even kind of modest strength gains or better weapons once you start to climb into the late 70s, early 80s. I don't even know what's going on here, but Slamu landed another crit. I'm going to be really interested to see his stats at the end of the game and see what this ratio is of crits to non-crits.
Sometimes I feel like we should keep like a record book for DWR, just like highest percentage of swings that are crits in a race. This
one, at least qualitatively, feels like a contender.
It certainly does.
I don't have like the Elias Sports Bureau on the line or anything, but
But it's going to be really unfortunate for him if he gets late in the game and he's doing a melee grind on something and he just runs out of crits completely.
Slammu does have the next level, 2828? No, 6? It was a single digit.
And still no more spells. No heal more, no hurt more, no stop spell.
Yeah, level 10, a quick assessment of Slammu stats anyway. Strength is kind of okay. 48's, you'd like to see it higher, of course, but 48 on level 10, it's, it's fine. Agility is already in the green, 72. Hit points, nominal magic points. You don't have a lot, but you also don't have any of your expensive spells yet either. So that's really not totally consequential at the moment anyway.
Yeah, the main thing is just the lacking of the spells, and the strength is doable, but you really like a better weapon than a copper sword if you're going to melee grind right now.
Yeah.
But
hence, Slammu finds a
yes.
Magiwyvern and is going sleep hurt.
I am surprised no one has just trawled that desert right
Oh
next
no,
to...
counterspell!
Oh!
Magiwyvern also throws asleep. Slammu is going to wake up and he's already landed 3 hurt, so he's got a pretty decent shot of taking it out with this one. The 15 will do it. That's nice for a good chunk of experience and gold. Meanwhile, Ladab, now also on level 9. Picking through some favorable encounters there in that grassland tile zone northeast of Garenham. He's going to reload his healing.
We have not seen the Hawks and Spike. No one is... I don't think anyone's even checked the Hawks and Zone yet. They both walked in and just immediately left.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And that's another, perhaps, valuable spot that we haven't really seen yet. Wyvern jukes that first sleep from Slammu, and the second.
Yeah, considering we're nearly 45 minutes into the seed, I think I probably at some point just check the Hawks and Zone just to see what's in there. And then if I run low on resources, just die on the tile just to see what's on there too.
Yeah, I think the information is really valuable at this point. They do have the sleep spell, they do have the fairy flute at their disposal, so there's a couple of enemies that at minimum they could neutralize and run away from if they just wanted to continue exploring. Attack power in the 50s, and with the HP where it is, it's kind of, especially the Golem with as much HP as they have. Stone Men, of course, too. Very difficult fights at this point, but you never know. Maybe a Stone Man has like a hurt spell or something like that that renders it neutralized. You never know.
Yeah, like there are some combinations. Like I wouldn't want to see the Golem there. It's just you can't take on that Golem without it. I feel like at least like preferably stop spell, but at least like some better stats to make the attack quicker. Because if it sleeps you, you're done.
Yeah.
But a green dragon was something weak. Axe Knight was something weak. There are possibilities.
You can sleep hurt a green dragon. It's not super high percentage, but if it's got a weak ability, that's certainly on the table. Slammu has built himself a pretty good experience point lead now, up over 600. And he's on his way through Swamp Cave, having gone east from Garenham now. He's going to try to get through. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of what might be Second Continent. We've seen, feels like very little of the map to this point. Just a handful of screens. Don't really have a good sense of where this end of the cave comes out.
We know you can explore pretty much any direction from here, but so far we haven't seen much of it.
Yeah.
I will say I'm a little surprised Ladab is settling for this zone at this level.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Just with the drolls here, he did take that last one out, but he's mostly looking for these wyverns.
Especially because I don't think Ladab has seen that the wyverns have sleep.
Do the wyverns have sleep, or is it just the magic wyverns?
Oh, the magic wyverns have sleep. I mean, that's
Magic
what I meant,
wyverns
sorry.
have sleep. Yeah, no sweat.
So he could go back and try to spike a magic wyvern there. He could go back and try to spike wolves. There's plenty of things that feel better than a zone with golem and a droll in it.
Yeah. Oh, Slamu misses that sleep on the stone man.
Oh.
Unfortunate there, wasn't able to get away. We did see, at least, that the peninsula that is due west of Swamp Cave is just basically an immediate dead end within one screen. So he doesn't have to explore that direction anymore should he choose to go back through Swamp Cave. But there's a lot of options here. A lot of options.
Might coming in the direction, 2 sleep misses on the stone man.
2 sleep misses on the stone man. I missed the first one. It's the 1 in 64. I think. Stonemen have 1 in 8 resist.
It's the monkey's paw of DWR. You wish for crits, and the monkey's paw will give you the crits, but then says you're just gonna miss all the sleeps.
He's missed a fair few sleeps against wyverns in the seed too, I must say. Slamu takes out another Magic Wyvern. Ladab, if he gets this Wyvern, will be at level 10. Go ahead, man.
I gotta say, you mentioned earlier about seeing the wolf in the North Zone, feeling super behind because of it. If you're in a seed and you're just about to hit 50 minutes, and you have flute, copper sword, maybe leather armor, and a large shield,
and
dragon scale,
basically no locations.
Yeah, you've seen one town, one cave, and Hawksness.
Yeah, one town. Well, I guess Jerk Cave and Swamp Cave, right?
Oh,
so
yeah, 2 caves.
There's 2, but Slamu's going to check to see if he has equipped his dragon scale. Always a good check. If you haven't equipped both the dragon scale and the fighter's ring at least twice during any given seed, you're probably, well, at least nominally more heads up than I am.
I mean, it's just try to equip it again.
Just try to equip it again. You know what? If you lose the race by that many frames, there was probably something else you could have done on the race. It made up the time. So
it's one of the reasons I really love that death work, though, because if I have fighter's ring and dragon scale in my inventory, I'm death warping by clicking one, then clicking the other.
This is a good plan, actually. You know what? I never thought to do that, but if you're just death warping anyway, then you know what? Try them both if they're in there, because you never know if you forgot one of them.
Yeah,
it's always bad. Have you ever had it happen when you're trying to death warp and you hit one of them, and it's like thou hast donned the scale of the dragon, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
No, that's been in there for 40 minutes.
That has happened toward the end of some of my seeds. I'll just be at the end of a long melee grind. I am now out of resources in go level, so I'm trying to take the death. And I go in there and I click the fighter's ring to take my death, and suddenly it's like, you equip the fighter's ring. I'm like, oh. I could have had 2 more AP this entire grind.
Yeah. I don't want to break in or anything, because this is not news at this point, but another crit for Slamu.
I wonder if at this point he's trying to count them, or if he's just given up.
I don't. The two crits on one ghost. That's an all-timer for me. I'm personally still waiting for the 4 AP start 2 damage crit But Slamu gets level 11, 12 power, 1 speed, 1 hit point, 2 magic points heal, radiant, heal more. How about that?
Well, that's basically a license to explore immediately.
Yeah. 32 magic points does put a bit of a constraint on that, but with the heal spell, you've only got 60 max hit points anyway. You can just use the small heal if you want.
And it's also good that you have easy access to herbs, so you can always have that extra in your pocket to make up for the low MP. Now, I will say I do like this zone by Ladab if he's sitting there. I don't know what else is in there, but he's seen those specters before and didn't take them. But now it looks like he's grinding that zone. And that's a pretty fantastic enemy for this.
Yeah, Spectre's really nice right now. He's got 54 defense, so those are already long since broken. If they don't have any abilities, it's a great enemy to see right now. Slamu did make it some distance to the west, and now he's doubling back towards Swamp Cave, so I'm wondering if maybe that first continent didn't dead end over there somewhere, or if he's just decided to go this way. I did not actually see the net result of his exploration that direction. Now, interestingly enough, Ladab, I think, unless I misread that, he put that Druin Lord to sleep. Druin Lords are, for the uninitiated, 15 out of 16 sleep resist. Alright, we've finally seen south of Swamp South, and it's an immediate dead end. So it looks like the only way to go is to the north and east of this exit of Swamp Cave here.
I gotta say, this zone has helped Ladab catch up really fast.
Yeah, he's putting a real dent in that experience lead. Slamu, of course, has, with the heal spells, has liberty to just kind of swing through things now. And another big strength boost on level 11, of course. Now up to 70 attack power, so there's a lot of these enemies that he had been fighting, like the wyverns, that are you can take out in just a couple of swings in some cases. Not always, but enough that you can just continue to plow through. Slamu decides to skip the swamp to the north there, and instead is going to head east and misses another sleep on his stone man. I think you might be right about this. He's landing all of his crits this seed, and he has missed an inordinate number of sleep spells.
I think we can now confirm that Big Slamu has the monkey's paw.
Oh, he used hurt instead. Was I wrong about that? Yeah, actually.
Okay.
He used to hurt. That's on me. And my terrible vision.
Oh, that's huge. Town and a cave. Not that far east of Swamp.
Town is Cole. We find ourselves back on the east coast again, interestingly enough. And Erdrick's armor. Huge find here for Slamu, especially with all this swamp around. 28 defense. Gives him immunity to swamp. He's got 900 gold at his disposal. Will be able to upgrade +5 attack power over the copper sword to that hand axe. And get an in-trip here as well as this cave that is outside.
He's basically breaking everything that isn't a Sherlock mob now.
Yeah, basically. 76 defense. You're on level 11 with that huge agility total.
I think this is maybe Mountain or Erdrick's.
It is
Erdrick's.
Tablet, yeah. So one free chest in here.
I'll never say no to a free chest, but it's always disappointing when it's Erdrick's instead of Mountain.
Still some important things that might be found here. This could be a key, of course. Or maybe it's just a cursed belt. That's actually in and of itself not a terrible find, although we already have seen one of the search spots in that coal spot. So
So now Slamu is really certain that something is in that goal search spot.
Yeah, absolutely. He is 100% sure that if he searches that tile, he will have already been going to found Erdrick's armor.
If there's a good zone nearby, that could in itself be good information, though. Oh,
Here comes this golem. Got run
I don't know
rocked.
if I do that.
He's gonna carefully he's going to carefully blow the fairy's flute, make sure he gets away from this fight. Does not want to lose his position right now.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm taking any chances around golems in the seed.
Yeah. And there's another one. Ladab now, level 11. On that strength agility build, up to 78 agility already on level 11. He'll get his important heal spells as well. And in fact, Ladab now up over 1,000 gold is going to stop in that Garenham shop and get the half plate, but Slamu has headed due north of Cole and found Remulder.
And considering he already knows where Garenham is, Slamu just feels like he's broken the seed wide open, although he probably feels behind.
Yeah, it's hard to say how he's feeling right now. Of course, from our bird's eye view, we know this is massive for him. He's got the locations of, he can go back and get the treasury in Tanagel, he can check the back door there, he can check the back door of Garenham. This really opens up a lot of potential avenues. I expect that he will check this Remulder chest first, though, while he's here. We'll see if he decides to continue exploring, maybe just take his chances on finding another location before he goes back to check some of that stuff, but this this Remulder chest is a Vanilla Wings. Ladab headed through Swamp Cave. Which direction will he turn? He's gonna go east. And we know this is a good direction to go.
Much better than the other direction. Especially because now there's another town on Slamu's screen. All the towns are hiding out in this direction.
All on the east coast here. What is with this map? So we had Tanagel basically on the east coast. Remulder over here. We have Cantlin now as well, so Slamu with the armor can cross damage free to talk to this wizard. When you're using the Waluigi sprite, has this, in my mind, very cool purple tint going on.
I mean, Archfield, let's be honest. As two people on the, no coordinates. As two people on the west coast, we know that DWR has an east coast bias, so there's just more proof.
Sure. Ladab is going to get to Cole. This is actually a little bit, in a certain sense, unfortunate for him. He managed to build up that gold to buy the half plate, and he's going to, I'm sure, not be displeased to immediately come up with the Erdrick's armor here in Cole. Takes a look at his items there. Nothing he can afford at the moment. That hand axe is out of his price range for right now, but he is going to get Erdrick's armor. Best armor in the game. And Slamu is going to continue exploring. He has immunity from that swamp damage now, as well as the heal walking. He's breaking, as you mentioned already, a whole lot of stuff. Ladab, by the way, of course, on that agility build, almost breaking literally all of the non-Charlock monsters. He's up to 79. Just the Demon Knight is out of range at the moment. So he'll dive his tablet cave.
Honestly, if I'm in Slamu's shoes in a seed like this, it always feels super uncomfortable, because you have keys, you know where Tangela is, of course, and you know where Garenham is, and it's super hard to resist the urge to just keep exploring the area you're in, though, because, you want to dead end the area.
But, I mean, with the armor and I mean, he's not taking a death anytime soon, unless he gets unlucky at this point. Even on 60 HP, with the defense where it is, and the enemies that we have seen in the overworld so far, I mean, he can basically explore kind of as long as he wants here. The question is, how long do you do that? And having already seen Caitlin and the coordinates are empty, you still don't know where either of your two dungeons are, but we've also got the locked doors in Tanagel and Garanham. There's not too many locations left out there. We, of course, need the Harp Trade Cave to find. We've got to find, let's see, Stones of Sunlight Cave, perhaps, would be still out there, but, you know, there's a pretty strong likelihood at this point that there's going to be a dungeon behind one of the two locked doors, either Garanham or Tanagel. And so between those two, just by themselves, you've got 7 chests, and if you find another dungeon, that's going to be 12 total. And, of course, Hawksness is nearby, too, where you now have the ability to take on a lot of enemies, too. Potential spike tiles. So. Yeah, Slamu is going to find Grave here.
And there's also, as Chad has mentioned, Hawksness is... With Erdrick's armor, I mean, it's not great, you're not going to beat quite a few things, but there's quite a few things you can beat.
Yeah.
If you get lucky.
So really no reason, once you do go back home, no reason not to check the tile, I think, in Hawksness, even for the information. Ladab taking basically the same route that Slamu had, going up this east coast. Oh, and is getting really unfortunate here. Got run blocked a couple of times by this green dragon, so he's going to get stopped short of keys. Really unfortunate here for Ladab. We got a torch and herb and the silver harp on Slamu's side, so the first sighting of one of our quest items here at an hour 3 into this one. Harp and top 3 of Grave. He has continued walking, so one assumes he will try to dive here, but has to use a heal more after that Rogue Scorpion tosses a deal 2 breath his way. This Wolf Lord, however, is going to give Slamu level 12.
As Chad is noting, Ladab does have heal more and didn't use it that fight, so that's super backbreaking for him. Oh, but that is actually really great.
Yeah, this is quite doable here if he wants to use the sleep. But I'm not sure if he knows. He's gonna run away. I'm gonna think about this.
Oh, Ladab.
He might not know about the sleep.
Yeah.
But that Stone Man's definitely doable. We see Slamu in this position. You know, for all he knows, he might not need to come back to this part of the map ever. So he's going to take a look at or at least try to take a look at the bottom 2 of Grave right now.
Yeah, at this point in the seed, unless you run into a red dragon, you're probably not taking a death unless you want to, and even a red dragon isn't... The only issue with the red dragon is that you don't have that much MP to heal more.
Yes. That's really the only constraint. The MP remains low, 36 on level 12 for Slamu. And we're going to get a Swamp Spike check here for Ladab. Got a red dragon. We haven't seen one of these yet this seed. We get a first turn bite, and he's going to get to run away. 78 agility. Means you have at least a decent shot of getting away from a red. But that's not the grind for the moment. Some more attack power, some more magic points to sustain a grind there, and that would be most welcome. But the strength is already pretty good here on level 12. Slamu's got 70. Just need some better weaponry. The Demon Knights might not be broken yet, but they might as well be. It looks like they've got a pretty high percentage chance to use that hurt spell. So despite a couple of dodges, Slamu takes nominal damage there. Pulls down 90 experience points. Ladab is back through Swamp Cave. He's seen that town. He's going to do a quick check there of that peninsula. Scrub his map. Fairy Water here, 4th chest for Slamu. And what town is this?
I don't know. I looked away and that's...
This is just like right immediately south of...
Oh, I think we saw that actually.
Did we see Breckenary? I guess maybe we did.
I thought maybe we did. We just forgot about it because...
Really, I mean, if you've seen one Brecon you've seen all of them.
Yeah.
Slamu is in 5th chest room and gets an armored knight.
That is one of the 2 enemies you really don't want to see right now, but he'll get away from it.
He'll get away, and for his efforts, gives up a torch. Doesn't even keep it.
I mean, at the very least, he knows that's what's there. And this will be his death warp right here. And that'll be really great for him, because that Stoneman is absolutely beatable right now, assuming he doesn't have anything terrible.
Well, we've got, I think, 3 cave locations left. Stones of Sunlight Cave, Harp, Trade-In, and Mountain Cave, right? And so you got 2 doors, Garenham and Tanagel. Mountain Cave is very likely to be there, so most of the chests in the game are probably going to be in these checks.
Actually, that strikes me. Oh yeah, Ladab didn't have his keys when he died. Oh.
Yeah. Bamboo Pole turns out to be Erdrick's token, so 1 more quest item in the Tanagel Treasury. This is not a duplicate Erdrick's token, but is instead, drum roll, the Stones of Sunlight. Alright, so there we go. Both of the other quest items here in the Treasury, which is apparently running some kind of copy shop, because it just keeps showing the same thing over again. We do have a gold grind, so Slamu's going to take money right away.
Yeah, that Silver Shield is sitting there right in Garenham. And with this agility, that is just absolutely distressingly huge.
Yeah, you love to be able to get a Silver Shield and a high agility seed, because just your defense is so big, and you'll be able to repel a bunch of stuff in Charlock. Ladab has gone a different direction here, and has found Mountain Cave, actually. Unless Erdrick's sword is here, we know that there's not much going on here, because Slamu's already got his hands on these quest items. I guess Fighter's Ring could be here too. That would be the most modest of consolation prizes.
Sword being here would be huge, though, because I don't know that Slamu is going to ever want to go back to Second Carnage. Except for, I guess maybe trade-ins might be there. I can't remember.
Depending, we've got, there's...
near home, so...
It kind of depends. Like I said, we've got the 2 caves that are going to be back of Tanagel, back of Garenham. And the only ones left out there are Stones Cave. We've seen Mountain Cave now, so we know that's off the list. So I guess we're looking at Stones, Harp, Trade, and... that's it?
Freebie?
I said Stones.
Oh.
You're always like Freebie Cave, and I'm always like Stones of Sunlight Cave, because apparently I'm very proper.
And I'm just using all the cool kid slang.
Freebie Cave.
The kids talk about the Freebie Cave. They know what I'm talking about.
I don't think any kids talk about the Freebie Cave. Slamu's traded his harp. That was in the back of Tanagel. Interestingly enough, Ladab has taken a route that took him to what we would usually consider 5th chest of Mountain Cave before heading to these top 2. Finds here a cursed belt and a torch.
So the only thing Ladab gained from that was the knowledge that there's more stuff in search spots.
Yes, and Slamu just cruised right past Hawksness.
Oh, now that's huge. If Hawksness' sword, Slamu is absolutely going to regret that later.
I mean, he's trading. I think he's thinking about his drop. He's going to get it real quick. I mean, he can always go there. He's got his Silver Shield money too, so I guess he doesn't want to stop there, just in case he should lose it. So he'll get his Silver Shield first, and then probably double back to Hawksness. I totally forgot about that part.
Oh yeah, so did I.
Fairy Flute finds itself in 4th position on Slamu's screen, which, as everyone knows, is the absolute worst position for Fairy Flute to be in, because it's blocked by the Golem's arm, and you have to really hope you're on the right spot.
I would like to contend with that assertion.
Okay, go ahead.
The worst spot for Fairy Flute to be in is right next to a bunch of fairy water.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to mull that one over a little bit. You know what? It's something that's really unfortunate for Ladab too. We haven't seen a loose key in this seed. I think they've all been key locked. Or actually, we haven't seen any keys at all in a chest that I can tell.
Yeah.
So Ladab dove Mountain Cave to no avail, but there wasn't a key there either. Slamu into the back of Garanham now. He's got his silver shield. We've got gold, a fairy water, and more gold.
So the keys are probably all in Charlock.
The keys are probably all in Charlock. This is going to be Freebie Cave, as the cool kids like to say.
Oh, yeah.
And in it is a magic key.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's
Never
key
mind,
locked
there's
altogether anyway. So yeah, no loose keys in the seed. You got to get to Remulder to get keys in this one.
As Chad is noting, Ladab has now taken the EXP lead. That's a really good thing to have right now, but not having the keys is just so unfortunate for Ladab.
Yeah, this all kind of sets up pretty well for Slamu. If he goes to Hawksness and the sword is there, that's monumental because he can probably start... the HP is a little low. He can grind whatever he wants at that point, but as soon as the HP picks up, if he still needs levels, he can go straight to the Swamp Spike and check it to Red Dragons after you get some more HP. Will be very, very good. He's got to get through the Stone Man first.
And preferably find the sword. If he finds the Death Necklace...
If he finds a Death Necklace, we know for sure that sword's in Charlock, right?
I believe we do, yeah. I don't think there are any loose chests aside from that now.
Yep, no coordinates in this one. The armor was in coal, and we've seen all of the chests of Grave and Mountain Cave, as well as all of the single chests. Slamu does not know...
Oh.
Of course, he hasn't seen Mountain Cave yet. Yes, as Schmeck is pointing out in chat.
And I don't know that he checked the shops in Cantlin when he went there.
Nevertheless, Erdrick's sword on the tile. So Slamu all of a sudden has 110 attack power. Ladab gets back to Remulder. He had seen it earlier, but had taken some time to get back there, wanted to scrub his map a little bit first, did find Mountain Cave as a consequence, but unfortunately empty today. So Slamu doesn't like that Stone Man tile, is going to head straight for Swamp Cave to see what is here. And he has no reason to do any more exploration. He is officially in grind and go mode. And though the XP is basically equal right now, this could take off pretty quickly for Slamu.
Yeah.
We'll see what Ladab decides to do now that he has keys. He's going to clear the Remulder chest first, of course, which is very sensible. He has already found Mountain Cave, so the only thing that he would even want to look for over here would be Cantlin, if he thinks there might be overworld coordinates. Red Dragons do have Hurtmore, which you really like to see right now, because with Erdrick's armor, that's going to do a lot less damage than the physical attacks. You just hope that it's not backing it up with a heal more, especially before you have stop spell.
That hurt more means that maybe he can steal quite a few double attacks on it.
Yeah, at this hit points though, not quite viable yet. Still has to churn through too many resources. The MP, of course, is lagging miserably in this seed. Level 12, 36. So that's a very spare 4 Healmores right now.
Ladab has found Cantlin, so he'll be doing his coordinates check, and that'll pretty much tell him, hopefully, all he needs to know.
Yeah, he can bail right now if he wants. He can leave Second Continent to head back with his keys.
Looks like he's not even going to check the shops either. Oh, but he is going to keep exploring.
Ladab needs Grave, but at this point I think he's narrowed it down to the point where he knows that there's only 2 caves left, and they have to be behind Tanagel and Garanham, respectively.
Yeah, I think maybe he just hasn't
Or it
realized
was
that.
Grave back there. I guess he does need Grave. Grave's over here somewhere, right?
Oh,
Slamu
right,
found it?
Grave is. Yeah, Grave
That's
is
right.
on, I think, down here somewhere. And you see
Yeah,
it
this
right
was the
across water
area.
right there.
It's actually right there across the water. I forgot about that.
But now he's seen it, so he should just absolutely... Oh, no. Okay, good. That would be so unkind to have Ladab see another thing and just...
Yeah, get sniped short of it. Slamu takes out a Golem for the next level. He is going to pick up Hurt more here.
Doesn't really change the equation much. I don't think we've seen an Axe Knight the entire seed.
Yeah, I think that's right. We might not see much Hurt more usage at all this seed, to be honest. Did get 9 magic points there. Some decent stat gains. HP is now up in the 70s for Slamu. Strength sitting at 76 is not bad for level 13. And he's gonna go Slamu's gonna do some sleep strats here in the zone. He forgot that he had Hurt more. He gave the desert a nice scorching. But he does have Stone Men and Golems in this zone. We know the Golems are a little bit dangerous because of that sleep spell, but he's using the Fairy Flute to try to get through these. Ladab has cleared top 3 of Grave. So he's got his Silver Harp and is going to try to get to bottom 2. Very sensible play here. This will basically check all of the chests off his list that aren't back at start. So if he can get through here, he won't have left anything on the table.
Yeah, this grind isn't great for Slamu, but the only good thing is that it's so close, and you don't need to keep your gold anymore. You've got your Silver Shield, don't need any equipment, so you can take the risk here.
Yeah, I don't think I mind this. Compared to what else we've seen, you've got a Stone Man tile. I guess you could do that. Right now on 116, I think Golems are something like a 5-swing fight on average. Or actually, I take that back. It's more like probably closer to 4.5, I think. Golems have a pretty big possible HP range, so there's a lot of variance there, and they don't have much defense, so there's a lot of variance in your swings too, so it can kind of go back and forth, but as long as you get even decent flute luck, I don't know that this is a terrible grind. If Stop Spell happens to come up, then I think that makes Golems essentially free.
Yeah. Like, that sleep spell is the only thing that makes Golems not the best enemy, bar none right now.
Yeah.
Well, barring an Axe Knight, but again,
barring an Axe
those
Knight,
don't exist this seed.
We've not seen any of those.
I'm expecting all 3 zones in Charlotte to have Axe Knights. They've got to be somewhere.
Alright, Ladab is out of Grave. Did he get last chest there?
He did. He
Okay.
outsided. I don't know that he knows he's done with the overworld, though.
Yeah, so he...
Oh, there he
there goes the return. Yeah. So Ladab momentarily will have both of his remaining quest items. Slamu is going to get the express trip back to Tanjil, thanks to this sleep golem.
They have a fight. Golem wins.
Nobody knows. Waluigi Man.
Can anyone play the accordion here?
Slamu taking a long look at his stat screen. That MP is still... Ooh.
Absolutely gross.
Yeah, that's a bit disgusting right now. You really,
The
you would really want to be grinding these red dragons right now, but the MP just... the HP isn't great either, but...
Yeah.
Just the resource drain would be immense right now against those red dragons.
If you had, like, 120 HP, you know, just a fair bit more HP, if you could kill red dragons relatively reliably and just swing, one fight, I think you still take them on this MP, but both of them this low means that you just can't do it. You have to waste heal more too many times in a fight.
I see some discussion of a Charlotte grind too, and I don't actually like that in this instance just because the MP is so low. You're going to run out of resources really fast. If you get a good run of sleeps on these stone men, you can stay on that tile for a long time, and I think that's valuable in a situation where you don't have much MP. I am not going to say I know better or worse which one would necessarily work out, but I think the Stone Man is actually the thing that I would choose to do here. I don't think Charlock is really useful at all right now. If you find some broken things, that helps. You've got, of course, 4 enemies in that pool right now. You got your green dragons. But honestly, like, the Star Wyverns and the werewolves, I don't love for grinding purposes. They're just not very efficient.
Beyond that, you don't know if you're going to get them in the top zone that often. You just don't.
You can check it out, but obviously there's a bunch of different ways to play this late game, and I think it's really interesting to talk about it at least.
And as Beta and Schmike notice, wizards do have DL2 breath, and I think both of our racers have seen that, so...
I believe so. That said, if you just crit all the time, then the game is easy.
Oh, yes.
And, you know, I don't know what else to tell you.
Greens would be a pretty ideal enemy right now, but... I mean, I guess we did see them, but that's Force Zone, so, I mean...
Yeah. Meanwhile, while Ladam has been completing his errands, he does have his staff now, of course, as well as the rest of his quest items. He'll check the last chest off of his list. We're in the basement of Garanham with the Stones of Sunlight Cave. Slamu has built about a 2,000 experience point lead, a little bit more than that actually, and if this last swing takes out the Stone Man, and it does, we will have level 14. 4 power, 4 speed, 1 hit point, 21 magic points. So some MP finally shows up, as does Stop Spell. Yeah. I think I like some golems right now.
Yeah, I think I do too. I don't like the HP. Like, the MP is super great for reds.
But based on the rate we've seen golems cast stuff, I feel like now that you have Stop Spell, just open with Stop Spell and swing, you might get through a lot of fights without taking any damage at all.
Yeah. At the very least, I think I'd definitely check the Stop Spell resistance on them. I don't know what the maximum on golems is. I'm sure you can recall that from memory.
Max Stop Spell resist on a golem, I think it's something like 5 or 6 now. It used to be just 1/2. It was 8 out of 16, but with the most recent iteration, it's either 5 or 6. Aaron saying 6 out of 16, so I will take his word for it.
So yeah, that looks like the way he's going to try out.
Yeah, and with Repel, you're getting rid of everything but the Golem and the Stone Man, which is what you were grinding already anyway. First Stop Spell meets with failure, however. And yes, Beta, it's monster number divided by 4. It used to be monster number divided by 3, so you basically had groups of 3 enemies that had the same Stop Spell cap, but now it's groups of 4. Well,
missed 2 Stop Spells, and I'm surprised he didn't just heal more and just try a couple more times just to see. I know I've definitely been burned sometimes in Seeds by assuming after a couple resists or casts or whatever that it is what I think it is. And
right.
You never know, but at the same time, it's definitely looking like Reds is the way to go.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Ladab had seen this hand axe in Rimuldar, so made the walk all the way back for it. I was assuming, I'd kind of figured that maybe he wouldn't come back to Second Continent at all.
I think
but
I think he maybe still thinks he's missing something because he's still exploring. Unless I don't know what he could really be searching for here.
It looks like he's headed back toward Cantlin. So maybe he does still have enough money for a broadsword. So it could be he's just looking for a broadsword in this situation.
Oh, there's the flame sword. Not that it ended up mattering.
Now, speaking of Stop Spell, these red dragons have hurt more and cast it with some frequency, so Slamu's going to take a run at the Swamp Spike, but has now missed 2 consecutive Stop Spells. Not exactly what you like to see. Ladab is going to get a broadsword from the locked Cantlin shop.
Yes, Ladab has seen Jerk Cave. I think you would have had to. It's right there next to Sherlock.
I think it's essentially unmissable on the way to Garanham, right? I don't know if you can even stay off screen far enough to miss Jerk Cave, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he was just, like you said, checking for the broadsword and found it. Now he's just gonna go on about his business.
Yeah. Slamoo, unfortunately, had to burn through about, actually over half of his MP pool to get through that one red dragon.
Yeah, that's still not super great then.
Tilo's correct. He does need the stop spell crit. That would be the correct strategy. I don't know why he didn't think of that. It's been working so well for him in the seed.
Like, clearly he allowed himself 25 or however many crits he's got in this seed, and he thought, I'll just use them up on the early grinds since the early grinds are bad. Right now he could really use all those crits back to just spend them on the stop spell crits instead.
Yep. Alright, here we go. Ladab. Now, we saw him take a look at this tile earlier. I don't think he's aware of the fact that he can use sleep on this stone man.
Yeah,
so he's just going to fight it straight up and heal.
That makes this super inefficient, but...
And Slamoo, now with a bigger resource pool, is going to check out top floor of Charlock. First enemy he finds is a wizard.
Ooh. You don't like to see that, but they are 2 swings, so well, hopefully.
Yeah, well, hopefully 2 swings. First swing wasn't great. The 32 will finish it off. You can fight those, as has been mentioned. I believe they have stop spell in front of that, so you're not going to get a breath very often.
And even if you do have, even if they were like 100% breath, I mean, I think you take that, honestly. That's basically 1 heal more, 2 swings for like 128 experience. That's honestly, in this seed, that's fantastic.
I think you're probably right about that. Armored Knight also in Zone 1 for Slamoo. Ladab's going to get his drop now that he has acquired his Erdrick Sword. He's going to head straight for top floor of Charlock as well.
And that's good for him, because this is the zone now.
Yeah, pretty much. He doesn't have nearly as much, and he's got 30 fewer MP than Slamoo now that there's a 2-level gap, actually. You know, if these wizards cooperate, they will save you some resource usage, too. One of the big differences here, Ladab did not death warp for a gold grind, so he does not have a silver shield, so despite his agility being higher on that strength agility build, he only has 81 defense, so he's not breaking anything except for the wizard. But Ladab taking a page out of Slamoo's book gets a crit on that Star Wyvern. That's always helpful. Yeah, but now that both players are doing the same grind and Slamoo has the better stats, one would assume that if it's going to be really hard for Ladab to catch up from this point, simply because on the same grind there's no chance to sort of gain any ground and efficiency here.
Especially because the extra resources Slamoo means he can just sit here longer, so his grind is going to be also much more efficient.
Yeah, Axe Knight's also here in the top zone.
You never want to make bets when you see a sleep enemy and a deal 2 breath enemy in Charlock. But the fact that it's on the golem and the wizard at this point makes it pretty nice. If you're diving, you're pelling one of those probably.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and the other one should, in theory, be an easy run.
Should, in theory. The golem should be, in theory, an easy run. I would be okay with showing the wizards. We've killed a fair few wizards at this point. %25% stop, 50% deal 2. Slamoo's level 15 is incoming, 2, 1, 10, 4. So the HP is climbing ever so slowly. The strength, as you see there, is now in the orange. 122 attack power is not quite where you need it to be. Ladab's going to get his level 13. Hurt more is nice to see. There's a decent MP bump there as well. But with the HP trickling in the way it is, you wonder how long it's going to be before a Ladab will actually be go, because if it's a thin level, that agility build might work against him a little bit.
Yeah, right now if you're Ladab, the thing you want to see on one of your next levels is a giant HP gain that just makes it all academic. Like, that's the only thing you feel that can redeem your build right now. Looks like Stymo is probably going the reds.
Yeah. 122 attack power, the HP plus the... when you look at the HP and the defense together, it's pretty likely that he gets, a swing in between heal mores after the opening round, so as long as he gets first attack, he should get 2 on the first round, and then 1 swing every heal more thereafter. Ladab, I think, doing something that is advisable, but that I don't see super often, and that is if you're going to be grinding it all on top floor of Charlock anyway, just go ahead and start diving. Take a look. If you get into second zone, cool, you start to scout that out a little bit too. I think that's always fine, especially, I mean, it depends on where Charlock is, of course, but if you have outside and you've got a close healing town like this, I think it makes a good deal of sense to do that if you're just going to grind Charlock anyway.
Yeah, I absolutely love that sort of play. Like, if the grinds are awful, I just want to try going down to the bottom floor, see the zones, get to know what they are, maybe even get lucky and get the spike tile and learn something. It can always pay off, but the question is, can it pay off enough to make up for red dragons on Slamu's side? And I don't think much can do that.
No, I think now that Slamu has entered this phase of the grind, these red dragons are totally fine. As you see there on screen, 50% hurt more.
Okay, so 50% stop spell resistance roughly.
And honestly, with their defense at 92 anyway, the red dragon I think can hit for a max of 37. So, yeah, 30... About that. Yeah, 37 is max swing. Stop spell resist is 7 out of 16 on those reds. Not really material now that Slamu has some resources. Can just fight this straight up. 122 attack power is pretty good too. I believe that's 18 to 36 against reds. So probably something close to a 4-swing fight.
You want to take Naminda's question on?
To be honest, I don't super remember off the top of my head, but I have most of the values memorized at this point.
Wow.
What it comes down to is it's actually the same formula as the formula that we often use as a shorthand for DL2. You take the enemy's defense and you the monster strength, I should say, and then you subtract the hero's defense. Beta's giving it to you all in chat. And you'll get your min and your max swings.
Red dragons are at 120, I think.
Yep, that's correct. Red dragons and golems both at 120.
Looks like Slummy was just going to go ahead and get some of his herb buying out of the way.
Yeah, this makes sense. If you're just going through for your heal anyway, go ahead and take care of that now. Garenham's an especially convenient town for that. Slamu now is actually just one red dragon shy of level 16. And Vladab looks like he's headed to Hawksness.
Don't know how much I like that, especially because he doesn't know about the sleep.
The Stonemen have sleep?
No, I mean he doesn't know about sleeping.
Oh, he doesn't know about using the sleep. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. No, the reason that the Stoneman would make sense in any sort of a grind situation is that you think you can put it to sleep and save resources as a consequence. But as you say, Ladab does not know about that. He actually threw a Hurtmore there. I don't know if that was on purpose.
I think it was probably accidental.
Yeah. Slamu does get his level 1116. That's the stat he was looking for. Is it enough of the stat he was looking for? And the answer to that question is not really. Still needs some strength too. The HP is over that 97 threshold at least. But the MP is still lagging a little bit and still only 123 attack power. We don't have the Fighter's Ring, of course. We know that has to be in Charlock. As well as the Death Necklace, for that matter.
Yeah.
We're not nearly in Death Necklace range and hit points yet. But that is not to say that we won't get another big chunk of HP at some point. 12,000 is the experience point threshold for level 17. And a crit.
I'm really going to want to see the number. He does show the number of crits, right?
Oh yeah, it shows the number of
Good.
crits on that last panel of the credits. And now, I mean, the thing that last level did for Slamu is it probably gives him a chance at some better swing chances in between his heal mores here, so this grind's just going to start going even faster right now.
He's not even heal moring there.
Yeah. He knew how much damage he had done and that he was likely to kill it on that swing. You can pinch some resources that way. A little bit risky, of course, but already has chewed through 2 more red dragons and is rapidly approaching level 17.
Beta coming up with the suggestion that if Slamu doesn't show the stats after the race, he loses no matter what.
Yes, we need to see this number of crits, and if we don't, well, I'll be disappointed. I won't be angry, but I will be disappointed.
And that's the worst thing that can happen to Slamu right now.
Absorbing my disappointment.
Oh yeah. Just give him a disappointed stare and he just won't know how to take it. So it looks like the Dab is back grinding in Hawksness. And this is honestly something I struggle with for a while too. Sometimes when every grind is suboptimal, you just kind of feel like bouncing between them repeatedly.
Yeah, and you know, when it comes down to it, this is probably the best spot for him right now. Ladab does have level 14. So he's got some more magic points at his disposal when he goes back to heal next time. This red dragon should do it. Slamu gets level 17. 2 power, 1 speed, 11 hit points, 8 magic points. Well,
the fact that the numbers you want to gain are gaining is absolutely wonderful, but they're not quite gaining enough.
It is just the faucet's on at a mere trickle.
And the bad part right now for both our racers is if you want fairy water, you're going to Second Continent, right?
Yes. Yes, you are. I don't think Breckenary is that far away, but it feels far enough out of the way that you just kind of go to yourself, well, do I really want to spend the time on this?
Do I really want to leave red dragons to buy fairy water?
And the answer to that is, probably not. At least for me, I feel like it would really depend. It would have to be a super thin level. If there's no strength gain here, and you just get like 121 or 22 hit points where you're not quite in Death Necklace range, right? Like, I don't even know what would make me go for Fairy Water instead. But I guess maybe just exactly that, right? Like, if you get 123 hit points, so you think you're going to get a lot of doubles, big defense for Slamoo, but just get, you know, a point or two of strength, and enough magic points to make it close, right?
Yeah, I think for me it really depends on how likely you are to... Because sometimes you just gotta take the risky DL2 fights, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's some spots, especially in a race, a one-on-one race situation, where you just go, you know what, this is thin, but I feel like this has to be the shot.
But it doesn't feel like you go and buy Fairy Water for that kind of chance right now.
With this grind as favorable as it is, yeah. I mean, I've not been keeping super close tabs on Slamoo's grind, but he's already up to 129, only needs 142 to get to level 18. And I will say this, he is being very bold about his swing choices. He's definitely counting his fights and knows when he's for sure in range to kill a red dragon should he land the killing blow. So he's been very tight with his resources here too, and it's just kind of making it faster, so long as it works out.
Yeah, but if there's any question about using the Fairy Water and actually getting a win, I don't think you go by. You just stay here with the red dragon. You might not get what you want on the level, but definitely feels a lot better than just going out there and maybe winning after buying Fairy Water.
Yeah. Another crit.
The number keeps rising.
Does Slamoo have more crits this seed, or MP?
I think right now it's crits, but let's look at it.
No, look at this. Did you see that? There's another one. Why even?
I was going to say MP, but I think the sight of yet another crit just Freudian slipped my mind.
That was basically the level I just described. So he's at 125 hit points now.
Oh yeah.
Gained no strength, but got a little more agility. And Slamoo at least appears like he is in the let's stay here and continue to kill red dragons rather than fuss around with other stuff camp. Didn't get enough MP to give him another heal more there anyway.
I might be tempted to go down. Oh, I might be tempted to go down to Breckenary right now, but like this isn't a wrong play. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly,
what do we think? I wish we could do a prediction. Crit count or death count, which will be higher?
I would go the crit count. You want to know the count that's really interesting?
What's that?
And this isn't even a question. You know exactly which one is going to be higher. Crit count versus hurt more count.
Has he used a hurt more at all?
He probably did.
I think he cast one by accident in the desert that one time after he got it. But...
Yeah, he cast one in the desert, and then he probably used it like once or twice in Charlotte. And aside from that, like, crits would blow it out of the water. And really, when you think about it, what is a crit but a better hurt more?
Most of the time. We did see that crit near the opening not kill a ghost, so, you know.
But then didn't he crit it again?
He crit it again. So, you know, that happened. But
so just consider it like the ghost had a bit of hurt more resistance.
That's what it was.
Crit resistance.
Just crit resistance. Next level at 19 for Slamoo is 16,500. Just a handful of red dragons away from that. Ladab has picked up level 15. And Slamu now has basically exactly twice as much experience as Ladab here. I believe 3 more red dragons will do this for Slamu.
I mean, at this point, you just want, like, just a hair of HP, AP. You take either.
Yeah, Death Necklace is guaranteed to be in Charlock, so that's always an option. A little bit more HP to enable that would put you in a range where it would now be viable, 135 attack power.
Although,
you would need to save all your resources, but it is doable.
Thinking back, there is one important thing we've forgotten again.
Oh, I've always forgotten important things. Go ahead.
Slamu never went in the mountain cave. He doesn't know Death Necklace is guaranteed in Charlock.
That's right. He is operating without that information. So with that in mind, if the AP is short again here, does he just continue to grind because he knows he can't bank on it? Figuring he can kill another swath of red dragons in the time it would take him to go find...
yes, Fairywater is also in... Fairywater. Fighter's Ring is also in Charlock.
Fighter's Ring also in Charlock. We know that. Slamu does not exactly have that information.
As to the question, I don't know. That's, like... Unless you're buying Fairywater, which is, again, out of the way, although I think it's worth it if you're gonna dive with, like, this much AP, obviously. Or
right.
Anywhere close to this much AP.
Yeah, anything in the mid-120s, it's probably worth the trip, right? Here comes the level, 10 power, so now the Fairywater is 1 speed, 14 hit points, so way into doubles territory, 135. That means you're probably going to need, you know, even on a normal fight where you're not expecting doubles, that's probably 80 MP maximum. He does have 90, and he's going to get some doubles in all likelihood with 94 defense, so this is now basically guaranteed go mode for Slamu. He's got a dive here.
Yeah, and with this agility, you can basically not encounter most things in Charlock, and importantly, you can not encounter those DL2 Red Wizards, so...
Right. Now, he might have a couple Fairywater on hand, but he probably doesn't want to use too many resources on his way down.
Yeah, it'll depend on if he has a torch, and if he wants to blind dive Charlock. He might not be able to afford to repel any, but we'll find out. Doesn't look like he has the Fairywater. If he does, he doesn't remember.
He might have used a repel before he left Garanham in which case it's likely still active.
I'm smart. I remember you did that.
Well, to be honest, I didn't notice. He does have a couple of Fairywaters in his inventory. Had a torch as well. Yeah, and his repel just wore off, so he's going to use one of those Fairywaters. It's going to get rid of the everything up through Green Dragons, so Werewolves, Star Wyverns, Wizards, Axe Knights, and Green Dragons are all gone. He's now into second zone. And hasn't really seen much of anything.
Honestly, the only enemy I super don't want to see right now is hilariously the Golem. I guess the Armor Knight is kind of annoying.
The Armor Knight's pretty annoying.
Mostly because I don't know that either of them have fought it enough to know if it I don't know if Slammo has fought it enough to know if it for sure has or hasn't.
Yeah, when he was in the Charlock phase of his grind, I think he saw a couple in the top zone, but here we now are into the third zone, and first encounters a red dragon. Slightly less dangerous than usual on account of that hurt more. I don't cast it very frequently, but it does at least take some of the edge off there. Damage output plus 94 defense doesn't hurt in that regard either.
I think the especially big thing there is the 139 HP too, because you can afford to kill it without a heal more in battle easy.
Right. Still don't know what the spike tile is. Slammoo has had a fairly breezy Charlock dive.
But the red dragon heard you say that.
Yep. 4 run blocks there. But still had the full complement of herbs, so he's just going to heal all the way back up this close to the spike tile. Not a bad idea, you know there's reds in the zone anyway.
Thou hast lost a coin flip, command.
That's basically what happened there. Armor Knight on the spike. This should not cost much in the way of resources, perhaps an herb or two. Swings of 44 and 45. Didn't quite take it out. This one should, and it does.
That's basically it, barring a miss menu. And like, honestly, the only enemy I wouldn't have wanted to see on that spike tile would have been the golem.
Yeah.
So the second you don't see that outline, you're just breathing a sigh of relief, even if it's a red dragon or K47. So Slammo won't quite kill the DL2 as fast as he could otherwise, since he didn't check the treasury for Fighter's Ring or Death Necklace, but
still yeah, this is pretty free.
It's basically a question of how fast you want to kill it.
I meant to count, forgot. Are you counting?
I don't even count my own DL2 fights.
This is, well, like I said, it's probably immaterial. The swings haven't been golden here, but he looks to be at least on pace.
Yeah, the swings and the heal markers would have to be cataclysmically bad for this to not go to plan.
If Schmeik and Beta concur on the count, then I am sold that it is accurate. Here's yet another double. Probably going to be at least 3 heal mores to spare at the end here.
Definitely a high HP Dragon Lord.
Yep, higher HP Dragon Lord. This one should do it though, and does. If you are so inclined, please get your GGs out and chat. For Big Slammoo, it's going to improve to 3-1 on the tournament season. Obligatory repel wearing off as you're trying to walk toward Lorik. And Slamu is your winner tonight with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 56 seconds. Hadn't been for that rappel, we would have had the 5s right across the board there.
Rappel robbed us once again. Okay, let's see the information we're all here for.
Yeah, this is the big reveal. Now at the end of the seed. How many crits? Everybody please guess in chat. How many crits did Big Slamu land over the course of the race? Ladab has decided to forfeit. We'll see if what we've got going on here.
And you really can't blame him. That was just a rough seed made rougher by that. Just that horrible death. First, the death outside of Garenham, and then the one outside of Rimeldar that was even worse. Oh, 14. How is it not higher?
14? Really? Did I just call out every crit and so it made it seem like it was a lot more than it was? I think maybe that's what I did. Maybe I've hyped up the crits. I don't know.
You're the crit hype man.
Maybe I am. Joining us now in the booth, both Big Slamu and Ladab. GG to both of you.
Thank you very much. Hi there, everybody. Congrats, Slamu. No, you can't.
You there, Slamu?
No.
He might not have his push to talk on.
Yeah. It was a close one, right? It was right there, missing a level to beat here. To get it. Damn it.
Yeah, it really came down to a couple of things. I think certainly that start was very challenging. You really only had a couple of areas in which you could grind at the start. Kind of take us through that. What was going through your mind as maybe the first half hour that race unfolded?
Yes, this was one of those seeds where I was like thinking, okay, let's hope for a good spike, because otherwise it's gonna be a drag. If there's no place to grind correctly, to get XP in a reasonable manner, this is gonna take a lot of time. And then I was surprised when I could get a few lucky kills with the Wyverns and at least one Wolf Lord that sped up things somewhat. And then I thought, okay, now I have a minimal reasonable survivability. Let's do this. And finding that first seed when I finally could sleep helped a bit. I wonder if Slamu took so long on the very first levels as I did, because I had that impression I could have been a bit more courageous, gone sooner to find that village. But I was happy when I tried a bit my luck with the swamp after Swamp Cave and found Erdrick's armor, I believe, pretty fast for the seed. But that didn't pay off in the end because I don't know, I think I'm missing the grinding experience here, like knowing where to grind and how to grind wisely when you have such a situation where you can't just go to a spike and do your thing.
Yeah, there was no good grind tonight. I mean, I felt like I got lucky. I actually got a crit on the first ghost I saw to get to level 2 quickly. And then once I got hurt, I actually didn't leave that starting zone until level 10. So I got 1500 XP on the wolves and Magidrakees just north of the start.
Well, there were Magidrakees north of the start. I didn't even notice that. Just all the wolves and the drows. All right, look at that. You stayed there until level 10. Wow.
40 minutes there. I stayed 40 minutes basically at home. I think I ventured out and got the copper sword around then, and then started kind of splitting between the wolves and the wyverns and the wolf lords trying to find XP. I didn't go through the swamp cave until an hour in.
Wow.
I got the armor after an hour, But I was level 11, level 12 at the time, so I felt like I'd gotten a good chunk there.
Cool. Well, that went fast with me after I got the armor. Like I got the armor at level 7 or 8, I believe. And then I was like, yes, now I can, take on everybody, right? And then I went on to a exploring and grinding routine and found everything. And then
Yeah, that was a quick find. I found everything very quickly. I found everything step by step. I went all the way through the grave, even though there was nothing really there. But yeah, once I got keys, everything kind of came together in the next 10 minutes.
Where was the death necklace?
I don't know. I didn't even look. I could have used it on the last level. I got to level 19 to win.
Wow! Wait, then it was really far behind because I was still getting to 17 by the time I won. Oh, okay. No, I thought it was closer than it was. Not close at all. Wow, I didn't expect, but now I know that staying so long, getting those first levels would make such a difference on the long run. Like this really pays off, right? To just grind at the start until at level 10 or 11 or so.
It really depends. I mean, we never had any money to buy anything, so the only thing that would have been really good was a key or the sword or the armor, and none of those were very close to us. So it worked out that way, right? I mean, if the sword was 4 screens away, I lose by 20 minutes.
Yeah, I will say, Ladab was certainly the first one to start exploring and actually got one tile away from Garanham the first time and got sniped by a Star Wyvern. It took him a little while to get back there. In the intervening time, Slamu, because you were staying and grinding, you built up a 100, 200 experience point lead. But really, the experience was pretty close throughout. I think the big difference was kind of another unfortunate death that Ladab took. He had gotten his armor, he had, was on that east coast and basically took the same route you did, Slamu. Was going straight north, got a tile away from Remolder too, and took an unfortunate death there to a green dragon.
Oh no.
Before he could get keys, and those were the only keys available in the entire seed. There were no loose keys anywhere because Ladab cleared Mountain Cave too. No keys in there, so the only place to get them in this one was Remolder.
Yeah, I took the death my first time out of the swamp, but I went west, which was a dead end, and then back east to Cole. So it took me 2 tries through swamp to get the armor even. But yeah, to die one step from Remolder, which basically broke the seed wide open, was big.
Yeah, that had everything. The keys were integral.
One thing that I found funny was when the spike for the Edric Sword was the Stone Man. Because Beta's Trap just wrote on the training room, right? Look, people, everybody's asking if you have a Stone Man as a spike and that's the only one, what do we do? And then I was thinking, okay, look at that. He speaks about it, we have the situation. Let's go, what should we do? And then I noticed, Stone Man, looks like the answer is actually never do it. But maybe there is the one extremely rare moment where I have attack 140, I don't know, and then it could be worth it.
I did probably 5 Stone Men total, and just cast Sleep every single time because they don't resist sleep very well, but it's still slower. I mean, as soon as I got 100 health, and I think I got 100 health at level 17. I went straight to the Red Dragon and just fought Red Dragons for the rest of the game.
That was I was wondering about that too. While getting to level 17 still, if I have enough HP, the dragon will be the way to go. Okay, so yeah, to me it's clear, like extremely inefficient grinding on my part, plus a lot of silly deaths to green dragons and stuff like that. Put me out. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Cool. I guess I have to learn some more patience, because I see that all the top runners, they do take their time at the start, and I can barely resist. If I have level like 6, 7, I have to go exploring, and possibly that doesn't pay off.
Sometimes it does, and that kind of depends on the seed too. You had running that agility build. The agility throughout the seed was immense. So you had pretty good run chances against everything. It was just the low hit points and the lack of healing that was kind of slowing down exploration for a lot of the first hour of that seed.
Look at I saw I chose this agility seed exactly for that. Like I wanted to go exploring anyway, and see how that turns out. And I was hoping for a bit, but the lack of healing, that was the big one. Yeah, buying herbs the whole time, that cost a lot of time too. Cool. Hey, thank you very much. It was very, very fun, and I'm happy that I'm happy how it turned out. Anyway, like I don't have the impression that I did too bad compared to my past seeds when I was learning still. But I see I have to develop that patience, the patience of masters like you, Big Slamu, and the others.
I am far from a master. The one thing I would ask of you is sometime this tournament, I would love to commentate one of these races with you, if you're willing.
Oh, let's do this. Of course. Nah, that's good. This is going to be fun, yeah. Let's do a commentary.
Perfect.
I am 1000% on board with this. Let's make it happen.
Awesome.
Well, gentlemen, do you have anything else you'd like to talk about as far as that seed goes? I know it was kind of a longer one, so I don't want to keep you too long, but if you have anything else you wanted to discuss, now would be a good opportunity.
No, I mean, just thank you to you guys, Archfield, Man, Beta, the entire DWR admin crew. This is the biggest undertaking that our community has ever done, and you guys are knocking it out of the park. Everybody go follow Ladab. He is the Dragon Quest Switch world record holder, and one of the best Dragon Quest players out there from a vanilla perspective. So check him out. You can also see a ton of D&D on his group. He plays D&D with his chat. Multilingual, so jump in there, go hang out with him. He's a great guy. I've been chilling in the back of his chat as he's playing D&D. Seems really cool. So.
Whoa! Thanks a lot, Slamo. I'm embarrassed. Cool. Thank you very much, but I don't have anything else to add. Just just that big thanks again. It's been awesome. Getting on the nerves of my wife a bit. I can expect some sort of reprisal when I go out of this door here, of this room. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I can get that straightened out afterwards.
Well, I'm glad you're having a good time. Thanks, both of you, so much for the race, and GG to you both. We'll run down the schedule real quick before we get out of here. It is, of course, already... we've got a pretty packed day tomorrow. DK9146 and the Hangry Canuck start us off at 7 o'clock Eastern. Then Beta Strep versus Fitz and Toaster at 8 o'clock, along with Sassage Link and Edge Talron. Tristal and Z playing at 8:30. The Sea Wolf 1 and Guelph 35 at 9 o'clock. Then 3 matches at 10 Eastern. Aaron 2U2 versus Dr. Mr. Holmes' first race of the tournament so far. Then Arn Polly versus Ratliff the Rat, Bob Pinelip MD versus Ziggy. And then at 10:30, last match on the schedule right now, at least, Silly Dabbit versus Zarnax 42. So a very packed Wednesday for us here in the tournament. Hope you can join us for some more of these races. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of them out there being restreamed tomorrow. Mand, anything before we get out of here?
I hope all of the racers currently in chat have better early grinds than that, because that was just a painful grind to watch.
Yeah, you both did pretty well with it, but goodness, to just be...
You both did pretty well in different ways. You were taking on different enemies and staying pretty equal for the start.
I will say, I remember distinctly when Samu was doing his turn-ins, actually Ladab had taken the experience lead at about 3,000 experience points. So I think this will be a really instructive one to watch back if you get the chance.
Just watch it back at 1.5x speed.
Yes, advisable. All right, we're going to get on
anyway. Just for the commentary, the commentary is always so awesome to listen to.
Happy to be here to do it. I'm going to send us over to Dr. Mr. Holmes. He's playing some more Kaizo Ironmon. haven't seen any of this, it is a good watch. Trying to get through Pokemon Randomizer with a bunch of constraints. So if you're on board, please join us for the raid. Wherever your travels take you the rest of this evening, have a good night.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.